What is up, fellow sickos? I am Dan Favale, coming at you with the one, the only, my certified fantabulous co-host, Mr. Grant Hughes. We are here to talk about the actual biggest threats to the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's been in the top. It's more topical now because of what the Spurs just recently did to them, and now we have the Jokic injury to factor it in. A lot of interesting teams out west. We're going to talk about some of the East teams too, and we're going to break down a bunch of these teams, and we will give our picks at the end. So that's right. You have to stick around. Do you know why you also have to stick around? Because I'm going to go on my Draymond Green rant here. How the NBA players who make tens of millions of dollars a year had to work on Christmas, just like concession stand workers at that arenas. I'm working on my birthday right now, folks, to bring you this content. So you know what you're going to do? You're going to subscribe across all platforms, and you're going to send this video or just recommend us, not just right now, but nonstop for all of 2026 as a much-deserved birthday present to me. But with all sincerity, this is our first podcast of 2026. We want to thank everyone for their support. As always, our sickos, we love them around these parts at HardwoodKnocks, so appreciate every single one of you. Go join our Discord if you want more sickoism. It is free to everybody. The link is in the podcast and YouTube description. I will now ask the question that we want to know the answer to, even more so than who the biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder is. Grant, just how the heck are you doing?
I'm doing great because I remembered your birthday. I wished you a happy birthday. I did.
25 is that's like a big milestone birthday. So
I know. I didn't know if you were going to reveal your age. That's very brave of you. I did have the thought of waiting until 9:01 p.m. last night to be the first, because I would have won, right? I would have been the first official birthday well wisher. Maybe if I might have had to do it right at 9, because you're 3 hours ahead. Didn't do it because I'm a good friend, not a great one. And I like to make sure that you don't get your hopes too high.
I was shocked that you, not that you remembered. I guess I was shocked that you knew. I didn't anticipate that you knew. And then that was the first thing you said when we logged on. So you know what you are? You're a great friend.
I was ready. I like to keep the friendship dynamic such that, like, all right, I remembered yours. You got 10 months. You gonna blow it? Are you gonna reciprocate? We'll see. I think you did give me a pretty early on birthday wishing.
Here's the problem, folks, before we get started. Grant is a fucking just safe, and he threw away the key. He gives me some of the things I have found out about Grant through not Grant himself, or just these major things that happen, and then I'll find out months later. And meanwhile, I'm here spewing my deepest, darkest thoughts before we get on air. Yeah. I do have your birthday in my calendar as well, because I know that you never, I didn't even find out it was your birthday. We had a mutual friend, Bill, who had texted me saying he forgot your birthday once. And I was like, it was the day after. I was like, it was Grant's birthday yesterday. We had literally recorded a couple days. I was like, you have any like things coming up? What's going on this weekend?
Nope.
Nothing.
Well, the truth is there wasn't anything special planned. So I didn't mislead you. I just didn't volunteer certain information. Well, again, it's about leverage. This way I can never lose the friendship battle, because I'll always know more I can be more thoughtful. It puts you at a disadvantage. I'm just trying to win friendship. That's all. It's competitive.
Look, I'm trying to win against the Oklahoma City Thunder if I'm another NBA team. I'm not throwing in the towel house.
Good segue. 1, 2. Good luck. It's not going to be easy.
Good luck. And I think I wanted to start here before we go through our actual teams, but we're all in agreement that I know there's been a lot of stuff about the Spurs of late. The Oklahoma City Thunder are the standard bearer for NBA title contention right now. I think they might look more vulnerable, or that the Spurs were, I can't even say the Spurs were built to beat the Thunder so much as a lot of it is Wemby exists. We're going to get to the Spurs, and I promise the analysis goes beyond that. But do you feel any worse about the Thunder overall after watching those Spurs games, even them lose to the Timberwolves?
Well, let's remember, I only picked them for 62 wins this year. So I feel about the
70.
I feel about the same as I have. I mean, definitely. Do I feel worse about them? I mean, I guess you have to a little bit, just because prior to that recent stretch where the Spurs beat them left, right, and center, it just seemed like, well, nobody can do this. And just the Spurs gave you a little like, okay, no, it's like not impossible. You actually can beat them and not do it once by being lucky. Like you can just outplay them a certain percentage of the time. Which by the way, I think that's great because I like, as much as I want to see something I've never seen before, like 74 wins or whatever, I do think I just the way that I feel about the Thunder now and the season as a whole, it's more interesting to me if we can have the discussion that we're about to have. Because had we done this prior to those Spurs losses, it'd be like, what would we even talk about? How do you beat the Thunder? I don't know. You beat the Portland Trailblazers one time and get lucky. Or whoever, I can't even remember who else beat them, but like, well, it's just like there's not a lot of analysis to be done, and what little there is would be like speculative. It's like, well, we haven't seen this work before, but I don't know, maybe if you win on the offensive glass to like some crazy extent, like that might work. I don't know. Now we have like a little bit more actual proof, I guess, of like what you need to do and like where the vulnerabilities might be. So that's a good thing. But to answer the original question, yeah, they're still the favorite. Like we're still talking about them as the how do you beat them team, not any of these other squads that we're going to discuss. It's like the Thunder are over here, everybody else is trying to get there, but maybe everybody else is like slightly closer to where the Thunder are than we thought, and that's cool. I like that.
Yeah, it reinforces the notion that this season is not a foregone conclusion for me, and that's I just love the NBA. I love what we do. It can be stressful and frustrating at points, but I love what we do, and so I appreciate everything, the dynasties, but also the parity. The idea, though, that we might just have this all-time great team and then maybe a foil or two or three in the league is just objectively kind of cool. And so with that, who is the first team? We are not ranking these. We're going to give our picks at the end. So I just want to reiterate that. Who is the first team that you would like to discuss?
I think let's get Denver out of the way for a couple reasons. One, they haven't played the Thunder yet this year. So we don't have a ton of recent information. We don't know what the rebuilt, deeper version of the Nuggets might be able to do against OKC. However, we may not see that version of the Nuggets for a while, just because literally everybody except for Jamal Murray is hurt. Jonas Valanciunas goes down recently. Like I didn't even know about the Valanciunas injury like until a couple days after it happened, maybe only a day. But like, what's happening? Like how is
it how is Jamal Murray the last man of all people standing? Kudos to him. I'm not wishing at you, but we go from Jamal Murray's never in shape. He's the one who's always injured. Even at times it felt like he was more banged up than Michael Porter Jr. across their regular seasons to now.
Porter Jr. low-key was super durable, by the way, for like most of his Nuggets tenure.
Man, I've already started getting messages from friends and like DMs with people that we work with or both know like, oh, was the Cam Johnson trade a mistake? And I'm just not ready to travel down that because look, I think MPJ, the stuff he's doing on offense, there's a lot of differences from what he's kind of the same player, but he's also has more freedom. And so I'm not ready to revisit that. There's other flexibility that was opened up, but yeah, the Nuggets they were always vulnerable because of the team that they lean on their starters the most. Like there's just metrics that show they're playing their starters a line share of their minutes more than any other team. But this is brutal because now it's who's your backup big man, Grant?
Well, I think we know who it is, and we discuss him because of his contract more than anything. I mean,
it might be
Najee is going to play.
Holmes over him, right?
Well, right, but like he's been wildly disappointing. I mean, it's how high were your expectations, really? But like. Yeah, so it's going to be bad. Holmes and Najee are not like that's a rough center duo to toss out there.
Did you see? I think it was Enjoy Basketball, whatever Kenny Beecham's associated with, posted the meme. It's like just Najee's picture and he's smiling. It says accidentally became important at work.
I mean, a lot of players are going to be accidentally important. Like Spencer Jones, two-way
already important
starter already, and now it's just like, guess what? You're going to get 8 to 10 shots a night. Have fun. So again, the Nuggets, we don't know when they're going to be whole again. I haven't looked ahead of the schedule to see if if Jokic is back in 4 weeks, is there going to be a Thunder game within that window or after it, hopefully after, but just so for some context, go ahead.
Just for their first game against the Thunder is February 1st. So that's right on the borderline. And then they play them February 27th, March 9th, and April 10th.
if Jokic is not back for that second February game, I mean, where are the Nuggets in the standings? One, but like that's a real shame if two of those meetings aren't like useful informationally. I didn't
Well,
want to
dude, can,
cite
can I
though.
actually ask you this?
Yeah,
How does the Jokic injury actually impact how you feel about the Nuggets going up against the Thunder? Because it's not, he's going to be back by the, and if he's not, then we're having like a whole different conversation.
yeah.
But I think it comes down to how much do you think seeding matters when you're measuring the Nuggets versus the Thunder? Because if they don't want to face them into the conference finals, it's, well, we better off finishing sixth than still trying to fight for fourth or fifth. But it's,
I mean,
if you're going to have to go through them anyway, I know it makes the rest of the bracket, you would prefer to avoid them as long as possible just because of what it means for your other opponents. But when I saw, I was relieved at the actual news.
right.
And now with Valanciunas out, it's okay. How far could they slide down the standings? But that game against the Raptors was at least slightly encouraging. My first thought was, I don't know that it changes how I feel about the Nuggets at all as title contenders, because if they're sixth, even if they have to go through the play-in, it's not ideal, but you're going to have to go through the Thunder anyway. You're either full strength or you're not.
Yeah.
And
I mean, here's the thing: the home court, I think, matters in some ways. It matters a ton, right? Because they went to 7 last year in the playoffs, and the Thunder had home court, and who knows, maybe that decided it. But it also
fair.
doesn't matter at all because the Nuggets are not catching the Thunder, right?
Right.
Like record wise,
Right.
that's out. So you're going to be the lower seed anyway. So if you do have a conference finals meeting or one sooner, you're like it doesn't. Yeah, it's set. You're going to be the road team as Denver, like regardless. It might matter the seeding stuff and the slippage with all these guys hurt might matter because maybe someone catches the one of those puncher's chance teams catches you a round earlier as from Denver's perspective than you wanted to, and you're out before you even see the Thunder. Like that's on the table, especially if like half those guys that are out, you know, aren't ramped back up, or that seems like a long way off, but like maybe there's lingering something, or if it's a hamstring, maybe that leads to a groin or whatever. Like that's all something to think about. But I don't know. I think just based on last year's postseason, the 2-2 record during last regular season between Denver and OKC, like you have to take the Nuggets as seriously as anybody as threats to the Thunder. But it's just what version of the team are we talking about? Like the one that exists today is going to lose by 100. If they're fully healthy, theoretically, this Denver team is better than last year's team, which pushed the Thunder far, right? So I think it's speculative because we haven't seen them meet up this year. We might not see that until the spring. And can make the case that the Thunder are also improved. So I just don't want to discount the Thunder, but we did need to kind of put them aside because they haven't played yet this year.
Right. And I think a lot of what would have held true in that Denver series still holds true now. And there was, I can't remember if it was game 3, but it felt like they found some solves for Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, to where if they would more liberally switch Jamal Murray onto him, and then you have Christian Brown kind of in like the faux zone or whatever. I do wonder, now that Michael Porter Jr. can't do any of the low man stuff, does that impact him at all? But you still have positional size if you want to control the glass. I think you can point to and say, offensively, Aaron Gordon was just the best 3-point shooter alive in that series, apparently. But you look at what Jamal Murray shot from 3, what Michael Porter Jr. at that time was shooting from 3. He was dealing with the shoulder injury. It feels like with Spencer Jones, and we're just going to assume that he gets converted and is eligible to play. And should they keep Peyton Watson past the trade deadline, having Christian Brown, Aaron Gordon to me kind of feels, Jokic is the skeleton key for everything, but Aaron Gordon feels, I don't know if it's an X factor or whatever, but you're not winning that series without Aaron Gordon, because I feel you could use him to a bunch of different things. You need someone to maybe turn the water off on J-Dub. We saw him do that a lot in that series last year too.
Or Shea, really. Like that's not an advantage for the Thunder if Gordon gets switched on to Shea. Like I think that the Nuggets should want that.
And I think just Denver's ability, and against the Thunder it's different, but Denver's ability to be able to draw fouls with Jokic and Murray because of how aggressive OKC is. They're going to foul a ton. But the other thing is, relative to most teams against the Thunder, they're also not going to turn the ball over a ton, because like Murray and Jokic specifically, they're going to be pretty low turnover. And I think they ended up actually, of the playoffs, having the lowest turnover rate against the Thunder of any team OKC faced. So it was still higher than normal. I kind of think we've even had the conversations. Is this a championship caliber defense? The health it's just a given. I
Mhm.
kind of think people are sleeping on the Nuggets relative to in the who's the biggest thunder. I've seen the Rockets pop up a lot, but they feel like, to me, they're just in this discussion. If we didn't have the Jokic injury, or should I say the Big Val injury as the news trigger here, we would
Yeah.
still absolutely be talking about the Nuggets. And I don't know if they're better set up to beat OKC. If really like than last year. I guess what would be the case for why they would be better built to beat OKC than they were? Because a lot of the stuff just feels the same, even though some of the personnel
It
has
I
changed.
mean, yeah, that's a good question. I think you have to just mention they've got like 3 usable bench guys that maybe they didn't have last year. I think you'd also say the three-point shoot Denver's the best three-point shooting team in the league this year. The volume still isn't maybe where you'd like it to be, and you might say, and the Thunder just have always given up a lot of threes and a lot of corner threes. That's just part of the thing. So like if the Nuggets are better equipped this season to take advantage, like OKC's been top 5 in opponent three-point frequency 3 years running. So like you're gonna get threes against the Thunder because they shut everything else off. And like, if you just are a better shooting team, sort of paradoxically without Porter Jr. there, but the numbers are what they are. Maybe that's a way that you can steal a game or two. You win the math game that way, the 3 more than 2 thing, and you don't turn it over, which is like, if the Thunder, in the past, we've seen the Thunder, if you make the Thunder play in the half court more, they go through droughts. And if you cannot turn it over and let them get out and run and build 12-point leads on like breakaways, that gives you the shot you need. So maybe Denver in those 2 ways might have a better chance. But like, how much better does Denver's chance need to be if they came as close as anybody last year to beating them? So I mean, it's hard to like be really firm with any of this because the 2 teams haven't played yet. But it's not like, it's not a shock if the Nuggets eliminate the Thunder from a playoff series. I don't think.
No, I don't think it would be a surprise. The final question I have: would you try, just because we haven't seen it hardly at all? I think they played like 50 possessions or something like that. Is there a case to go 3 big against it's 2 big with Val and Jokic if they're healthy, and then you still have Gordon on the floor, or can that not even be a consideration? Where the thought process is, we're going to try and just bludgeon
Yeah.
Oklahoma City to death.
It's definitely a lever I'd pull if like I was down 0-2 or something. I don't know if I come out.
That's the nicest way of saying no.
Well, what realistically, like, how much utility do you think that type of lineup would have? Like, what I mean, it makes sense because there'll be other teams we talk about where it's like, okay, the way that this works for beating the Thunder is offensive rebounding, second chance points, like that kind of thing. So it's like, you're right to suggest something like that. And Gordon makes it so you're not giving away as much as you otherwise would perimeter defense wise. But like, if I'm Denver, I'm trying to beat you with hopefully my healthy starting 5.
Fair.
And I'm going to beat you shooting threes first, and with Jokic being unsolvable second, like, or reverse those actually. But
Well,
yeah,
do you think
you're going to have to try stuff. If you're going to be the Thunder, you're going to have to try stuff. Hashtag try stuff.
Hind_90 in the chat, Brown close to a return, question mark. I think Zach Lowe said Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown could both be back within the next couple weeks. And I think Gordon to me is huge because the Nuggets have actually, there's only been, I think they've only played like 80 minutes or something together, but the Murray Gordon minutes without Jokic this year have actually gone really well. Only 44 minutes, 17.3 net rating. And so that'd be big. But yeah, what don't you think though? You mentioned this when we were building our top 5 defense with only 6'5" players. Are you worried about Jokic not being able to solve Alex Caruso plus help?
Plus J-Dub on the back line in our configuration. I picked Caruso as the guy in an exercise we did to guard Jokic, and that the implication was like also plus help. So I have to give that a little bit of thought. But like, don't you also think that Jokic has now seen this once for a playoff series, and it's just like the beautiful mind graphics are going up and he's just solved it all already?
This does apply to the Thunder. Is there any inkling of Nikola Jokic is just going to get like 4 or 6 weeks of rest in the middle of the season now, and that could be absolutely terrifying for playoff opponents? Because if it's actually just a calf strain, And it's like, is that really the worst thing in the world for him to get a break? And
No,
maybe you are the 6 seed
hyperextension.
instead of the 2.
Hyperextension,
Sorry,
right?
hyper. There's been so many
Yeah.
calf strains, but now there's so many
So many
hyperextensions.
calf
I'm getting
strains.
confused.
Valanciunas was the calf strain, right? I think.
That's what it, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that the cover now? I'm not. No, I won't go down there. I was like, NBA teams don't want to be investigated for their injury reports. They say calf strain. Everyone's like,
always
can't question that. Yeah.
A lot of calf strains. Too many. All right. What's the next team you pick?
I feel like we need to talk about the Spurs now.
Okay.
Rumor has it they've played pretty well against the Thunder this year. I think honestly, well, it's not honestly. Wemby does have a ton to do with why they're so good, is being able to just basically have him. Oh, if you want him to be on a big, or if you want him to roam. I think it was Thinking Basketball had a great breakdown about how San Antonio is doing a lot of just pre-switching, and Wemby's pointing it out so that he can continue to roam around the basket. And you're seeing it materially impact the shots that the Thunder are taking. The Thunder are shooting, when Shea is on the floor, with Wemby on the floor, 47.6% on twos. When Wemby's off the floor and Shea is on the floor, they're shooting 62.1% on twos. And so Wemby is just able to muck stuff up, and he's going to materially change just the frequency with which you're even able to get at the rim. And so the Thunder are not a high volume rim team. 30.8% of their shots come there. I think that's 17th in the league. That number drops all the way to 22.2% against the Spurs so far this year. Just
a point on that. Sorry to jump in. 2 of the Thunder's 3 lowest rim attempt frequency games this season have been against the Spurs. It's just like, it's a fact. The Spurs, with Wemby especially, just you don't shoot at the rim as often.
Wemby on a minutes limit too, is the other thing.
Right.
So if
what happens
if Wemby's playing 37 minutes a game or something in the playoffs? But what I think is, and now it's starting to receive attention, is with the exception of Steph Castle. I mean, they have all Steph Castle, Devin Vassell, Dylan Harper, De'Aaron Fox. All of those guys can get downhill. All of them, almost all of them, are very low turnover and seem totally fine to handle pressure on the offensive end. And so they're able to put Oklahoma City in rotation more than most other teams would. And it's, okay, maybe some of the finishing, if it's De'Aaron Fox, is he finishing as well during this week of a stretch? Maybe not, but his ability to score from different levels anyway. And the fact that all of them, Vassell, maybe close to a liability, but just De'Aaron Fox, Dylan Harper, and Steph Castle are not guys that you can actively pick on the defensive end. And even Dylan Harper, just as a rookie and not having a ton of intel on him before he's coming into the league, had just a few plays against the Thunder to where he made this huge 3, and he was pressuring the ball and forced a turnover before the Thunder even crossed the timeline. I can't even remember if it was on Shea or J-Dub who he forced the turnover on, whatever. That is, no other team has Wemby, but now you compound it with, if you're looking for a roster that's stocked with a bunch of dynamic on-ball guys who can get downhill and either spray or make some difficult attempts at the rim, or just aren't going to be phased, whether they're operating from a dead stop or in transition, by Oklahoma City's defense, in part because who's the shortest of those guards? Is it De'Aaron Fox, and he's 6'3"?
Yeah, I mean, I and certainly like Harper and Castle both play bigger, but yeah, I think it's probably Fox.
So that's just, I don't know. No, we can no other team has Wemby, but I think if you threw Wemby out of the equation and they had a normal all-star big man or whatever, does any other team have that type of dynamism across 3 separate positions to go up against the Thunder with?
You'd be hard. I certainly not while also having the ball handling. I think it's like when the Thunder play a lot of teams, it's apparent very quickly that like this team just isn't, they're sped up immediately and they never are able to like turn the throttle down. The Thunder have just put the game into a state that like a lot of teams, because of age, because of ball handling issues, because of what athleticism issues, are just like, this isn't for you. Like this game is being played in a way, at a level, at a pace that you're just like, this is where the Thunder are good and you just can't stay there. The Spurs are not one of those teams. The Spurs very much, I'm just kind of saying what you said differently. Between Castle, Harper, and Fox, you have 3 guys that can just beat their man, right? Like from a standstill. 3 guys that can bring the ball up, 3 guys that can punish pressure by getting past that first level of wherever the pickup point is and getting the Thunder into rotation. And 3 guys that like just athletically are not overwhelmed. Like even Fox, like we talked, is he slipping? Like he's an athleticism based player. How's he going to aid? Like Fox right now is like, he's very, very capable of playing at the athletic level you have to
Yeah.
like to not get run over by the Thunder. So those 3, and like go down to like Keldon Johnson, very active. Like Keldon Johnson will run into you over and over until you get tired. Like he's a high motor guy. There's a lot of guys like Champagny, like those guys all are here for it. Yeah. Don't forget the unicornet. They're all capable of like just not getting, I don't know, like 5 minutes into a lot of games, the Thunder, when you see the Thunder against just, I pick a team, it's like the Thunder have won this game already because the snowball's already rolling down the hill with like 3 turnovers in the first 5 minutes and break. Like the Spurs are not that. But it like we've buried the lead a little bit. I just think the Wemby piece of it, if you pick the Spurs to be the biggest threat, it's because of him. It's separate from the guards, which I think matters, but it's just like, every time I watched all those, every time I see Wemby against the Thunder, all I can think about is how the Thunder kind of, it's almost like, I don't know, the game's played at like different, I've made some version of this argument before, like the game's played at like different levels, right? And the Thunder at the lowest level, like on the ground, like where all these guards are flying all over the place, like you sort of can't beat them there. But if you just move the ball up a plane, like up above all of that, like nonsense, like above the cloud of dust that everyone's created, like, I don't know, you're kind of, you're like figuratively above the fray. Like Wemby just gives you the option to do that, where he's dominating the level above the floor, right? On defense. And then on offense, you throw it to him. He can shoot over the top of any kind of pressure you want to put on him. He's like the kind of lob threat that you just sort of can't account for because you can throw it higher to, like, I don't know, it's kind of a hack thing, but like the Thunder are going to beat you down at their level. So try as much as you can with all your guards and stuff to compete there, but also like go up a couple floors and see what it looks like up there. Cause the Thunder are vulnerable to size, to guys that can shoot over the top. Like, cause Lou Dort, Alex Caruso, great defenders, J-Dub, great defenders. Like they're all guards and wings, you know? So I think Chet has a role to play here, but Wemby has kind of just kicked his ass like every time they've played. So I don't know. I don't know what to say about that.
What I will say is the Spurs just having no qualms about putting a smaller player on Chet is kind of in it. The fact that you don't want Wemby just glued to Chet,
right,
is like kind of a problem, right?
No, I think that's right. And like Chet may just, the next time they play, Chet may just punish that. Like that's, I believe in Holmgren as a great player, but right, like you can get away with that. I think the combo, to sum it up, unless you have more to add, like the combo of guards that are like up to the challenge of playing the way the Thunder want to play, and then Wemby as just like, you guys don't have one of these, nobody does, we do. It just changes the dynamics.
I should have asked this question about Denver, and if you don't have an answer, I could give it. So let's start with Denver really quickly. If you could add a player archetype to the Nuggets at the deadline to make them better built to beat the Thunder, what would it be?
It would be, I'm worried this is going to be my answer for a lot of teams that we do this for. I want, give me like a Steph Castle clone. Like I want, the archetype would be hyper athletic, point of attack defender in the backcourt that can get to the basket. Like I don't even know if I need him to be a shooter. Like Christian Brown supercharged with a better handle.
I think so for Denver. I think I might lean more towards. I just feel like defensively, if you have Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown and Peyton Watson and Spencer Jones, you need to try and figure it out with that. If they get like an Ayo Dosunmu, another ball handler aside from Jokic, because who do you trust aside from Jokic or Murray to handle OKC's pressure on the ball? I don't think I don't have anyone. It's not Jalen Pickett.
Yeah.
So that would be for San Antonio, though. I would. Do you think there's something to getting more of like a bruising for next to Wemby? Or is it because you could use Cornette next to Wemby, but if the Thunder do play Hartenstein and Chet, is that maybe their pathway to being, because we saw now these teams are, if you look at the Knicks or if you look at Houston, those teams are going to be able to play more physical, than the Spurs can. At least their front lines are. It's a little different when it comes to Oklahoma City because what is Hartenstein's probably their most physical for like big frontline player.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be it for San Antonio, or do you want to have like a motion shooter or something to give you another outlet on the offensive end?
I just need the Julian Champagny that played the Knicks, and I'm good. I need the guy that's a 5 alarm fire 3-point shooter, basically. I'm talking about on the Spurs. So yeah, no, I don't. It's tempting to say size or bulk. Bulk is the better because they have size. But I think I just want the shooting. I think that matters more to me because like Harper, it's come and gone. Castle's going to get left alone. Fox even is like, I don't feel great whenever Fox shoots a three. So if you're going to have, if those three guys are so critical.
What about when Julian Champagny is able to hit 11 threes?
That's what I'm saying. If you get Nick against the Knicks Champagny, you're good. Is he going to, what was it? 11? Did he hit 11?
It was 11
it was a franchise
three-pointers.
record. I know that.
Don't worry, Tyler Kolek was against guarding him, even though he was on fire. So let's leave this guy.
Are we out on Tyler Kolek now? Are you out?
Oh no, Tyler Kolek is like the GOAT. He's going to be on the Knicks Mount Rushmore.
That would have been a hard pivot from last time.
What is the next team you would like to discuss?
Let's do the Rockets. 1-0 against the Thunder this year. Plus 4.8.
Let's move on.
Net rating. So no problems here. Why are they a threat? To me, this is the offensive rebounding thing. Like, so the Thunder don't get second chance points. They're bottom 3 in the league. They also have been pretty good at limiting opponent second chance points, but not lately. I forget who had the stat, but they're basically losing 3 second chance points per game by allowing too many offensive rebounds and not getting enough of their own and not doing enough with the ones that they get. The Rockets are the best offensive rebounding team in the league. You talk about size and bulk, they will deliver that in greater quantities than any team the Thunder are likely to face. So I can envision a scenario where it's like Steven Adams is in there with Şengün. I don't know how you're defending in those setups, but you're getting 2-3 cracks every time down just because you're getting all the offensive boards. You can turn it over if you want to, which the Rockets do and will, but that's going to not kill you because you're getting several shots every possession. It's not like a complicated sort of way forward, but it is the most obvious one for Houston. And I think too, I mean, maybe, I don't know what you were going to talk about here, but like between like Thompson and Durant and Reed Shepherd, there's enough like shooting / athletic dynamism / playmaking. There's like enough offensively to where, Durant's still going to be able to shoot over whoever you put. There's other ways. I'm curious besides the offensive rebounding, unless you have more on that, like what you'd look for from Houston as a reason to believe.
Well, I think, yeah. So one of my biggest questions was, do we buy their first chance offense? And it's nothing. You could say they might have enough dynamic options, but nothing with their offense feels easy. And I go back and forth. I sat here thinking about this last night. Does that make you feel better or worse about Houston going up against the Thunder? Because so Houston, as a backstory, they're 28th in the percentage of their jumpers that are like uncontested. And so they're not creating particularly easy looks relative to other teams. You're not going to get a ton of easy looks against the Thunder. And so if you're used to that, is there something to it? Or does it make you just more worried because then you are maybe so reliant? Because look, their first chance offense ranks in the top 5 this season. That's why it's important. This is not last year where I think it might have been 17th or something. So the offensive rebounding, I think, absolutely matters. But they do have, between Reed Shepherd, Kevin Durant, and even Şengün, like you get them differently, and he hasn't been as efficient as you'd like him to be. But like those are guys who will hit difficult shots. That's having I don't want to call him a bailout, but having Kevin Durant, who if you want him to put the ball on the floor now, I think he's probably uniquely vulnerable to the Thunder. And that's where I would get worried about Houston's offense is, do you trust, you might think these guys can hit these difficult shots, but who do you trust handling the ball against the Thunder? I think Şengün is just the answer right now. And then Reed Shepherd's probably number 2, which is, again, it's fine. I just don't know how that stands up. The other question I kind of had, and you alluded to some of OKC's own offensive issues before, the way Houston's defense is designed, though, really intrigues me with the way that they go up against the Thunder, because they are going to concede 3-point looks And
Mhm.
the Thunder are they're 21st in effective field goal percentage on wide open jumpers. They're also not looking to run as much off of live rebounds. They're dead last in that. You can talk about, I don't know how much the non-Shea minutes matter, but they're in the 22nd percentile of offense without Shea. That goes up to the 30th percentile with J-Dub. It goes up to the 42nd percentile with, this is in the half court, 42nd percentile with both J-Dub and Chet. And by the way, the other variable here is right now, Jalen Williams specifically, for a team like the Rockets, feels a little easier to defend. I don't know if the
Mm.
wrist is still bothering him, but he just looks like he looks different, looks like he's moving different. He's shooting 40% on self-created twos and 17% on self-created threes. He is among the 50 players who are averaging 5 or more pull-up jumpers per game. Only Ja Morant is more inefficient on pull-up jumpers right now. That's kind of and the way that the Rockets guard specifically, you're going to need J-Dub to make stuff happen from the perimeter. And I think J-Dub is a long term. I think he's a pseudo number one option. But that's another kind of variable here for me.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. I think if you're just kind of looking for more ways forward, this is a different version of the physical advantages that Houston has on the offensive glass. Is like Şengün can just put Chet Holmgren in the basket. And if you're playing him with another big, I think you probably have Adams, or I guess maybe it'd be Capella on Hardenstein and vice versa. So like, I think Holmgren probably is going to be put in a position where, because you can't, who else would you even use against Şengün if you can get the ball into him at the elbow and he can do his like nonsense flailing and spinning stuff and or even if you get deeper position, I could just see, and that's where the volleyball on the glass starts, is Şengün gets like a close range look that maybe doesn't go in. I think he's a real problem for the Thunder, especially if it's Holmgren that has to guard him, because Şengün has shown, like, how many guys have put Wemby in the basket? Like, Şengün's done it. He's one of the few guys that can just, it doesn't matter if you're longer and have, are great shot blocking. He'll just get into you. I think too, like, athletically again, and like it's trying to find teams that like aren't just going to get run over, like Thompson, Eason, even Shepherd to some extent, like maybe Finney Smith rounds into form. I don't feel like the Rockets are going to get, they're not going to be just blown off the floor by the Thunder's defensive intensity and pace and stuff. So that's smaller things, but there's, again, I mean, the Rockets beat them already, so there's something there.
And that was before Reed Shepherd was Reed Shepherd.
They're going to win by 100 now.
Next team, let's do the Timberwolves. They've also just recently beat the Thunder, and they're just, I feel like we should only have the Minnesota Timberwolves play top 5 or 10 teams in the league.
Right.
Because those objectively just feel like the only games they get up for. And I don't know what it is, but it feels like I've read so many or watched so many post-game comments of, yeah, we just didn't have the energy tonight.
Yep.
Didn't get up coming up. Maybe it's time. Like, does Chris Finch just need to get ejected in every single game? So what's interesting here too is they are another team where I think that you can throw good positional size at the Thunder because of Rudy Gobert, of Julius Randle. You have Jaden McDaniels, Anthony Edwards. I don't actually, and maybe a lot of this has to do with the way the Thunder have played offensively, particularly of late. I don't worry about Minnesota's defense against OKC too much, like, because Rudy Gobert is still able to, not the same level of deterrent as Victor Wembanyama is. Like, no, I mean, no one is, to be fair, but the Thunder are not getting to the rim. So if they've played 142 minutes with Rudy Gobert on the floor, and this is from looking at last year, but since last year, with Rudy Gobert and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on, the Thunder just don't get to the rim at anywhere near a league average clip when Rudy Gobert is there. I think that's a pretty big deal. They're shooting not the best clip at the rim during those minutes either, 57.5%. That's actually incredibly low. So I don't worry about between him, having Jaden McDaniels, and we know what Anthony Edwards will do in that type of a series. And if they want to go dual big, that might make it easier for Julius Randle on the defensive end, to where if you downsize and where Randle's going to be playing against smalls, I'd probably trust him less there. This team just intrigues me against first of all, they're confusing as hell because I don't trust them to keep a lead in crunch time. They could be up 15 points heading into the final 5 minutes, and I wouldn't trust them to keep the lead. But if you have to just draft like teams you want going up against top 5, top 10 teams in the league. The Timberwolves are up there. And what I don't know what to make of is their offense, because I don't
Right.
think they need, I think Anthony Edwards just is their point guard. We saw it in crunch time. I think there was the comment from, I don't know who it was, if it was Julius Randle or Donte DiVincenzo the other day, to where the Wolves need to figure out a way to keep everyone involved for a bulk of the game, and then it needs to be Ant's show down the stretch. And like finding that balance might be something that they've struggled with.
Mm-hmm.
He's just going to be that guy, whether it's down the stretch or like throughout over the course of the game. Even I think but at the same time, I look and say, well, do I trust anyone on this team to handle the ball against OKC's defense? And then I think Rudy Gobert, so valuable on defense to Minnesota. What does he look like offensively against this Thunder team is where I would be super concerned in the playoffs. And so that's what I can't wrap my head around. And we forgot to ask this question about Houston. So we're just going to backtrack each time. What's the archetype, if you're the Rockets, of player that you would say, hey, I want to go trade for just to beat the Thunder in this series?
Don't you think they need another ball handler? Because if we're worried about Durant and Thompson and like Shepherd, who knows? Shepherd should be okay, but like I worry about just keeping possession of the basketball like a little bit against like the pressure of the Wallaces and Dorts and Carusos and even SGAs of the world.
I think you're right. The name that came to me, because he's smaller, but he can rebound and defend, was Peyton Pritchard. Would be like an ideal gift. I don't know, in a Thunder series, maybe not though, but in terms of
the shooting, you get the shooting too, that you stretch the floor a little bit. Back to Minnesota though.
What I wanted to ask you though is, if it was the Wolves, what is your biggest pain point for them against OKC?
Well, you were getting to it. I do think defensively they're very well equipped to stay in games. They're by the way, Minnesota's 4-3 over the last 7 games against the Thunder, dating back a couple of years. I haven't looked it up, but I bet you nobody else has been better than that, just based on how good the Thunder have been.
Well, I don't. The Spurs now have 3 wins.
Well, that's true, but did they? I don't know. They still might not be better. Did they get one last year? Maybe. It's the offense, and this is a concern about the Wolves, whether you're playing the Thunder or not. Like, I think it is true that Edwards needs to be controlling things at the end of games, but like at the same time, one of my biggest, I don't know, concerns, I guess, is that the Wolves seem to live and die late in games, and often die based on how many difficult jump shots Edwards can make over contests. Like, you think of the highlights, like the 3 he hit in the corner to send that game to overtime. He's gonna make or miss really hard shots. Like, what's the last really easy Anthony Edwards late game bucket you can remember? I'm sure Wolves fans are like, well, there was this. I don't remember a lot. Like, and that's great that you have Anthony Edwards, because he's going to make more of those shots than most. But the thing is, if I'm the Thunder, I'm doubling him immediately, because I don't even want the chance that I just get beat by a hero shot. And then Edwards has, it laudably, I think, shown a willingness to get off the ball in those situations. Like, he will just make the obvious outlet pass when doubled. And then what? Like, is Donte DiVincenzo making the play here on offense against the Thunder late in games? Is it Jade McDaniels? Like, is it Randall that you're trusting? Like, I think scoring on the Thunder is going to be really hard. And especially late in games, which, if you're a Wolves fan, you're like, yeah, late in games, it's always hard for us. So that's the issue to me, like, very clearly, I think. Because defensively, I think you're right. Like, between McDaniels and Edwards, and then Gobert on the back line, and just size, that's about as good as you can hope to do.
Right. I'd feel even better about them if I know he's dealing with a left ankle injury this season. Like, if Terrence Shannon Jr. was who I thought Terrence Shannon Jr. was going to be this season,
just another guy who can
option.
move. Yep. Like, that plays at a high energy level. That kind of thing matters. Yeah.
I just wonder how much so they've been linked to Kobe White, is the name that's been thrown around a lot for them. And I think, by the way, I think that's the right type of name, at least veering away from, I've seen a lot of people, they need a point guard, floor general. They don't need the next Mike Conley. I guess it would be important, like setting up Gobert would be great. But if this is going to be Ant's show anyway, you want someone who's probably gives you the spacing and just like the combo guardom of it.
Yes. I mean,
but
Nickeil Alexander-Walker would be great, wouldn't he? Wouldn't he, Dan? Wouldn't that guy? That's exactly who you need. This version of him.
Man, they could have kept him too.
I've arrived at they fucked it up. It should have been Alexander-Walker instead of Reed. Like, if you had, I know it wasn't as simple as that, but like, if they, Alexander Walker's a better player. Like he's just defensively nothing off the table. Hasn't missed a corner three that I've seen once this year. I'm sure he's shooting 100% from there. Like that's who you want. That you just said combo guard. Like that's who they need. It's crazy.
I just don't. Naz Reid still feels important. I keep coming back to as good as he's been for this season. I wonder if Julius Randle was the player that they should have planned to.
Well, that's maybe that's a more interesting question. Yeah, I think.
But that right. And I want to be respectful and say that this is kind of in the vein where it's Trae Young can be good, but just like the fit, you don't know if you love that, and so that's what I'm kind of at with you. Like I'd probably rather have if it was you could pick two of Naz, Randle, and Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I probably would have went because neither Naz or Julius Randle is going to be your center of the future anyway. So like, you get more passing with Randle for sure, and he has more of that girth. But but again, hindsight, whatever, that's done. Do you think though if they went after that type of a player, let's say they can add someone who will make you feel better about being able to attack OKC's defense, at what cost does that come to their own defense? Because Kobe White. That's someone you have to cover up for. All the names, and there are some where you could, what do we say now, Grant? Split the baby, because that's not a harrowing thing to think about. Ayo Dosunmu, but he's not getting you those from-scratch jumpers, and how much do you trust him handling the ball against, like, I don't know who the in-between name, or even who the perfect name, non-star division, of course, would actually be.
Well, aren't we talking about someone that would close for the Wolves, right? In this, that's how I'm, like, because when you said Kobe White, I immediately was like, I don't know if he's closing over DiVincenzo. Maybe.
Could you? No, you're too small. Well, against the Thunder, could you close him over Randle? That also isn't that a question you need to ask? Who do you want in the closing lineup more? Because J-Mac, Rudy, and Ant are locks.
Right.
Would you prefer
and
to have?
I think DiVincenzo is pretty close to a lock just because of the shooting. Like you can't
Well, right now, I think their closers right now are just set. I'm talking about if you're making a trade and the idea is we need a closer, who is the player you're looking to upgrade from or replace?
I mean, are we coming back to? I mean, DiVincenzo feels like it should be him, but Randle is someone like, what if this isn't going to happen? This can't happen. But it's like if it's Trey Murphy in Randall's spot and your forwards are McDaniels and Murphy, like we're not talking about quite the same level of like how are we going to score questions if that's what it looks like, right? Because the spacing's better, the shooting's better, you're more athletic, you're smaller, but it's not like Randle. I guess Randall's size does make a difference, but if Gobert's on the back line, I think you can get away with rangier forwards next to him. McDaniels can play up. I don't know, something like that, I guess. Just if we're trying to figure out how to solve the offensive problems late, you have a guy that like cannot be left for a second in Murphy. That would maybe make it so you can't get away with doubling the ball out of Ant's hands all the time. Maybe that's the guy or that's the issue. It's like, who can you add to this team that in late games makes it at least a question of should we double Edwards and get the ball out of his hands? Like, who's that guy?
Are we talking about a star at that point? Because do you think that the Thunder are going to, let's use Kobe White feels just the contract situation, maybe realistically the best player they could get at the deadline.
I don't think he's good enough to make you change your thinking.
Would one of the, what have they been calling them? I can't even remember now, so I don't want to butcher it. But if you could just get any of the three guards who are available, LaMelo, Ja, Trey, who's the one that makes you think?
The southeast something.
Trinidad? Is that what it is?
Trinity? Southeast Trinity? I don't know.
If anyone remembers what John Hollinger's been calling them, that would be great.
LaMelo, Ja, and Trey is who we're talking about.
And it's really just LaMelo or Ja because the salary matching for Trey is by Rudy Gobert or by Julius. I don't know if the Hawks would want Julius Randle.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is like that I don't love that type of player because I do kind of want Ant to have the ball. And if you had Ja or LaMelo's different. LaMelo, maybe the shooting makes it more like viable. But if it's Ja, it's just like, well, we're taking the ball out of Ant's hands by necessity because Ja has zero off-ball value and he will not be guarded, So like, how much is that helping?
What about Michael Porter Jr.?
So that's kind of like the Trey Murphy move, right? Where it's like 5-alarm fire away from the ball. If you do double the ball out of Ant's hands, it takes 2 passes to get it to MPJ, or there's driving lanes open because somebody's hugged up on him and you're in a 4-on-3. Like that kind of shooter, Dan, shooting is important. Solves a lot
Well,
of
hold
problems. I
on.
don't know if we've discussed that at all over the last decade plus, right?
Man, I'm trying to, like, would Wiggins or Norman Powell? Tyler Hero is probably too rich for what they could. Honestly, could they get, if Brooklyn was willing to take Julius Randle, couldn't they get to Michael Porter Jr. somehow, or is Brooklyn looking for a guaranteed first round pick right now?
Yeah, right. What's Minnesota got to trade pick wise?
Swaps and a
Yeah.
flyer on Rob Dillingham. Maybe, I mean, Terrence Shannon Jr. is interesting. Honestly,
I do like the idea of a front court shooter. I like it a lot for them.
I've given Michael Porter Jr. to Minnesota less than zero thought until now, and I think I just all of a sudden might be all in on it without giving it more than a surface level. Because Julius makes 30.9, and MPJ is at, what is he at this season? Oh, he's at 40. I mean, Conley bridges the difference. Can you include something to?
I think doesn't Dillingham bridge the difference or pretty close to it?
Yeah, but the Wolves can't take back more money. So, but you could include a third player. So Dillingham, Terrence Shannon, and Randall for Michael. Is that too much? I might do it. I don't know where Minnesota's at on Rob Dillingham, because all the things we're saying right now is they were probably thinking that he could be the guy that would be at least the offensive antidote to what to the pressure that a team like the Thunder could provide.
I mean, man, what a high bar though, in hindsight, right? Because like now, part of the reason we don't love another guard here is that it takes the ball out of Ant's hands. So like, what kind of player would Dillingham need to be to justify the vision of him being I don't know. I think we're like, I don't know that Minnesota envisioned Dillingham as a closer next to Ant, but like, he's small. He would have to shoot the shit out of it. He would have to be so good as a creator as to justify Edwards not having quite as much on ball time. Like that's a great player. Like, I don't know. I would say like Jeremiah Fears is way closer to being that type of player than Dillingham is or was, but like even Fears is like, he's not going to be there for a long time if he ever gets there, right? Like it's tough to justify that trade the further away we get from it.
Mel says they were hoping for a Kyrie clone. Not close.
I mean,
Kyrie would do it.
Yeah, that would do it. Now you have my attention now.
Well, hey, is he available? He might come back after the All-Star break.
That's a Randall salary match, right? What is he makes in the low 30s? We could get there.
Who is the next team you want to talk about? Well, I think we're on to the East. Do you have any West teams that you need to?
I think we are. I don't know how much it matters what order we go in here. Let's just take. And these will be quicker, I think, because for reasons that will become obvious.
Well, let me ask you. Let's start here. Who is your biggest threat to the Thunder in the Eastern Conference?
This is so the teams were thinking. Should I just lay out the three options?
Nope.
No. Okay, so they have to be hidden.
I want you to know, people to know. Maybe they think their team. You know, if you're a Wizards fan, and you think might be picking the Wizards.
It's so hard. So there's three that I'm considering. I think there's a good argument for each of them, but they're very different. I will say the biggest threat to the Thunder in the East, why not, is the New York Knicks.
Checks in the mail.
Yeah, no, I mostly just said that so I could see like what your face would do. You didn't just fall over. So I guess it wasn't as. So the case for the Knicks is a lot of the same logic as Houston applies here. You could maybe win a game or two just because of the offensive rebounding, assuming Mitchell Robinson can make it through. I'm thinking like playoff series context. And we're in the finals, by the way. So good job, Knicks. If we have to actually think about this, good job, anybody we talk about from.
So Dan is running bare chested through the streets.
Yeah, you're not here anymore. Tyler Kolek has actually been elected. They did a recall election. Tyler Kolek is the mayor of New York now. So Mamdani didn't last very long. It was fun, but it's Tyler Kolek's town.
So all those billionaires just vacated the Big Apple, so they had to tap Kolek.
I don't know what to do beyond because they haven't played. Obviously, none of the three East teams we're going to talk about have played the Thunder this year. Obviously, the playoff records are non-existent as well. So offensive rebounding, size inside. Like you've got OG, you've got Bridges. I don't know what you do with Brunson defensively. I guess you probably put him on Dort and just hope he stays out of the way.
Well, at this point, put him on Caruso. My God.
Yeah, what else you got with the Knicks? Like, if we're grasping at straws here? Maybe I don't want to dismiss the Knicks. I think they've got a pretty decent playoff track record. Brunson is a handful. Like this is, this is not a totally pie in the sky thing, but like beyond the Houston logic, what gives the Knicks a chance?
Well, I think just having the fact that you might be able to maintain the Houston logic while having, because Hart will do a lot of the offensive rebounding too if he's healthy. And so having Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby as well, you do have a lot of these shifty wings to move around. And I think while Mikal Bridges is not the point of attack defender that he's never been, but I guess who the Knicks thought they were trading for anyway.
I
He can
mean,
kind of
Phoenix Bridges was good. Phoenix Bridges was elite, I thought, but that guy's long gone.
I also think though, like for the cadence at which Shea plays at, you can use Mikal Bridges in that instance, because this is where he's going to struggle, is a lot of like the guys who are doing like the blow arounds around screens or like have the raw speed, and Shade is just more deliberate about the way he operates. And even look, so I was looking at last season, the Thunder as a team averaged 0.87 points per possession in the 2 games that Mikal played in against OKC, like when he was defending SGA on those possessions as a team. And then you also have, if you have OG on J-Dub, or do you want to put him on someone so that he could roam? You could have Josh Hart on J-Dub. And so I think that there's a chance that the Knicks can build lineups where they match up fairly well defensively against the Thunder. My caveat being with only one of Jalen Brunson or Karl-Anthony Towns on the floor. And I think that's where I start to trip up on the Knicks thing, is because I'll use the Heat as an example. A team that for much of this season has avoided setting ball screens like the plague. When they have played the Knicks, they will just set ball screens to get in the Karl-Anthony Towns, Jalen Brunson pick and roll actions. And I could see the Thunder, like the pain points the Thunder could press on that are kind of just between him and J-Dub and Shea would be absurd. But I just don't, even whatever type of offense Oklahoma City's trying to push for, the Jalen Brunson, Karl-Anthony Towns minutes, I think, are potentially a detriment there, but I don't know if it helps if you're really not buying into, like, when the Thunder shooters struggle, it feels like they're struggling. If J-Dub is still just not super efficient, if Alex Caruso can go through these extended ruts, Lou Dort going through his own extended rut, like, that would probably give them a chance. I ultimately feel like their case, to where I look at Houston specifically, I look at the Knicks and wonder if their case is too reliant on one of Houston's strengths, to where now, if we're trying to look at those secondary strengths for the Knicks, what I will get really hung up on, this is more of a weakness, but like, do I trust their second best ball handler less against the Thunder defense than I do Houston's at this point? If we say Alperen Şengün on the ball against OKC, who's second? Let's say it's Reed Shepherd, I think is probably the answer there. Do I trust Reed Shepherd more than Tyler Kolek, or is it Bridges? Is it OG? Is it Towns? The fact that I don't have an answer here.
Yeah.
If it's Jordan Clarkson, we've already lost. So that's...
I mean, a lot of the I think the Cat Brunson piece of it is that's just a Knicks problem. Like that would come up if we were analyzing their chances against any, deep playoff opponent. Probably it's like you just can't play those two guys together, because if another team gets them in enough pick and rolls, it's going to be a cascade of points and you can't come back from that. I don't know. I guess the Thunder are probably even more capable of exploiting that than most other teams. So that, we're gonna have to stretch here with some of these East teams. Do you want to nominate the second of our 3 East contenders?
So I'm struggling here, because there's a team that my head is saying one team and my heart is saying another. Should I go head or heart pick?
I want you to go with your heart pick, and I think I know who it is. Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons. This is coming from someone who has had the Cavs preseason coming out of the Eastern Conference, so they're going to feel snubbed, as they should. But I do not trust Detroit's offense in the half court against OKC at all. It is Cade, and there's basically nothing else at this point. Like, you just don't have the shooting in Holland and Asar Thompson. Can you play both of those guys with Duren to really even maximize your defensive benefits? They haven't played a ton together just yet. But defensively, my God, you have Duren and Stewart and Holland and Thompson. And oh, by the way, you have Cade too, who's just like, you could field lineups to where there's not a single defensive weakness on there. And
you just named one. I don't
know what to say. I mean, the Holland Asar Duren thing makes me uncomfortable. And
you're never going to score, but You can
You
guard.
might as well try it though against
Yeah.
the Thunder at that point. And so from that perspective, I if you were to strike lightning in a bottle, the Cavs feel as if they have a better chance of beating the Thunder than maybe any team in the East. But if we're looking at trying to balance the floor and the ceiling, the Pistons defense, with what the Thunder offense is looking to do, at least right now, and then you factor in how much they have struggled on wide open jumpers relative to the rest of the league, this is a team, like maybe they could turn the Thunder over a bunch, or if they're just going to be able to control the glass, like if you don't have to go up against a set Thunder defense consistently. Like, because that's a concern about the Knicks too, is how much will their offense have to go up against a set Thunder defense because the Thunder were able to score since their defense is kind of shaky. And they've been bottom 10 over like the past month plus. Detroit, you just don't have to worry about that. And you want to think about the number of fouls that are going to be called in this
that
series.
was, yeah. I mean, I was thinking, obviously Detroit allows the highest opponent free throw rate by a ton. So there's a way this goes where Shea shoots 17 free throws a game, and this, none of this is close because the Pistons just can't stop fouling.
Who's more likely to foul out in this series? Isaiah Stewart, Asar Thompson, or Jalen Duren?
Thompson, because he's going to be on somebody that's.
I thought you were just going to say yes.
Yeah, I was about to say stop at Isaiah Stewart, but I think built into that though is a pretty clear indication that the Pistons are very comfortable playing a style that the Thunder are comfortable playing. So like, again, I'm just looking for teams that aren't going to be shell shocked right away. And the Pistons are like, they're here for the physicality and the up tempo. Like they'll maybe not up tempo, but just intensity, I guess. That would be of these three options of Knicks, Pistons, and team to be named later. Although I think you did mention them a second ago. I would want to see the Pistons series most, just because I think Detroit would just be so gnarly and so more physical than even in the regular season. Just because that's like, well, that's our strength. That's what we're going to lean into. A lot of like the Houston, not the offensive rebounding so much, but like between Duren and Stewart, physicality wise, like and Thompson and Cade, like and Holland, everybody we mentioned on the Pistons is like not going to be bothered by physicality or the Thunder, as everyone seems to be
Thunder even
like fouling all the time. Like,
will they even be able to penetrate within 14 feet of the basket? Like,
they're just going to get held up and foul. Like, yeah, it would be low score. It would have to be a low score. Well, a lot of free throws though. I just don't know what this series would look like. I know it'd be physical. But I would want to see this most.
You know what's interesting? Because I picked them before getting the next team, I find myself thinking about I guess I'm valuing more a team that can go punch for punch with the Thunder defense rather than shouldn't I be looking at, well, what offense can maybe crack this Thunder defense? And I wonder if I'm kind of thinking about it backwards, because then the answer would be the next team. But we did it again. What would be the trade target archetype for the Knicks that would make you feel better about them going up against the Thunder? I think you could cut it. I think it goes one of two ways. That it's either a ball handler or you need another someone who could guard at the point of attack that has more size than a Deuce McBride.
Oh, I was going to say there's maybe a third way, which is like, I don't know who this player is, but another guy that can give you 5-out spacing, but that isn't just a massive defensive liability. And I don't know who that guy is. Like if it's Miles,
two of them,
Miles Turner, like,
and
Brooke Lopez from like a few days ago when he was really good again.
From a few days ago. Well, Brandon Carlson's on the Thunder. Maybe they give him a call or
there you go. Problem solved.
For the Pistons though, what I think we know what the trade target would be, but how would you feel if they were to address what everyone wants them to do? And so I think the names that are mentioned the most with them are Lauri Markkanen or Michael Porter Jr. at this point.
Mm-hmm.
This sounds stupid because Lauri Markkanen is a 7-footer, but like if the Pistons traded for Michael Porter Jr., I might be on board with the Pistons against the Thunder way more than, like, obviously I'd feel better about them in general, but I'd feel better about the Pistons against the Thunder than I would if they had Lauri Markkanen, or maybe even not more than Trey Murphy. But like that's kind of the like MPJ on the Pistons, I think would make this just way more of an intriguing series. And that would be in theory the benefit of you're not getting rid of any of the players we basically mentioned. It's Tobias Harris plus more money, and that's how you're using to get MPJ.
Yep, you're getting someone that's better at literally everything that you have Tobias Harris currently doing, right? And I do think on a team like the Pistons, as we've gone through several times and listed all these like just defensive and physical monsters, you can, I mean, and this isn't MPJ necessarily, it's what you would have called him last year. Like you can accommodate a specialist. MPJ is apparently not that. He's apparently more well-rounded and capable as an offensive player. But like, if you've got four other guys that just guard and rebound and attack, you could get away with one guy, I think, that you're not super confident in defensively. And even like you said, MPJ did some good low man stuff while hurt last postseason for Denver. You could even, I guess what I'm saying is you could even have like a more niche guy than MPJ in that spot. Like if it was, I'm trying to think of just who is just an absolute lights out shooter that like you don't love doing anything else. I don't know who that guy is anymore because there are fewer and fewer. Like, I mean, I guess I'm kind of describing Duncan Robinson, so maybe this is a bad argument to make. He's already on the team. You know what I mean, though? Like the Pistons don't need a perfect defensive superstar. You know what I mean? Like it can just be a gunner.
It's the same with, because you can't say that about Denver. You can't say that. I don't even think you could say that about Minnesota. You could say about Houston, maybe.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's what we have a question from Andrew. Any way Detroit could keep Tobias and add MPJ, they would have to give up Isaiah Stewart in that scenario to help make the money work. And so I would say I would avoid that. I want Stewart in the lineup again. You have Robinson, but you still need more
I was
money.
going to say, since now I want to remove him from the team since I just described him as what they needed. Yeah, he makes 16. Yeah, you'd still have to. Ivy's probably in that trade. You're at like 27 million there.
Well, I mean, Karis
LeVert. You could get there.
You could get there.
But that's exactly the kind of trade it feels like the Pistons have just said, like, we're not going to do that. We're going to trust what we have. We're not going to put picks on the table. We're not going to make that kind of move. Unfortunately, like if I'm the Pistons, maybe that's just great posturing, but this like continued professed unwillingness to take a little bit of a swing, I don't like it. I guess the verbiage is like they'll be opportunistic but not aggressive. I think you can be aggressive if you're the Pistons. I wouldn't mind it. Mike,
you'd have to describe to me what aggressive means, because if they don't want to give up 3 or 4 first-round picks to go get Trey Murphy or Lauri Markkanen, I kind of understand it to where it's, we don't have to give up as much to get MPJ. Maybe Trey Murphy you could talk me into. I'm not going to lie. If it was 3 first-round picks and like a young player, Sasser and Jaden Ivey for Trey Murphy, whatever it ends up being, I'd probably do it just because he's so cheap moving forward and you got to pay Duren, worry about paying Asar Thompson. But, this is a good question. Would you trade Asar Thompson as the Pistons? What if it was for Trey Murphy? So you're lowering your pick equity. You still have Ron Holland.
Yeah, I would trade Ron Holland. Can I do Ron Holland instead?
That was not a question, Grant.
I don't think I would. And I think that's because if you're the Pistons, I don't think I have to. That's a little bit of a cost. So no, I wouldn't.
You just told them to be
other
aggressive.
ways to get there.
That's aggressive.
You got other ways to get there. You don't need to be that. Like, you've got the picks, you've got the salary. I would rather trade a bunch of picks because I think if I'm the Pistons, okay, cool. You got the 26th pick in several drafts. Congratulations. Like, I would trade several picks before I would move to Thompson, just because I think the best version of the Pistons has Thompson on it, and also huge caveat, he's not a complete liability as a shooter. Like that's apex Pistons is Thompson matures, gives you something on offense, and is a first team all defensive guy.
Would you trade Ron Holland for Trey Murphy?
Yeah, I would. I think so. I think, isn't it hard to imagine both of those guys playing major roles on a really good Pistons team, unless one or the other becomes a good shooter?
like this Pistons team? I would say they're pretty good. They're really good.
I'm saying there's another level the Pistons could get to. It's just those two guys have such similar limitations, right? It's hard for me to imagine that. What's the precedent for that working?
I do wonder though, not that we're missing the point, but also Trey Murphy, Lauri Markkanen, Michael Porter. Who are you trusting with the ball aside from Cade against the Thunder defense?
I don't mind Markkanen, because Markkanen's just going to put it down and go straight line drive and dunk. He's not going to, like, you're not asking him to make plays, I guess. Is that the question? Like, who do you trust?
Right now,
like,
it's who would be your second pick on the Pistons right now? It's probably Karis LeVert. Do we think it's Donis Jenkins? I
forgot about him. Maybe. I mean, yeah, no, I think that's
But I'm
fair.
saying
So
none of the
all
guys we
you would
mentioned, even
need.
Trey Murphy, really address that part of the concern about they might open up the floor, but I don't know how much that's going to do against, like, the Thunder are going to throw, like, who's going to punish the Thunder if they decide to throw even 3 guys at Cade?
Well, so I think this is a different situation than Minnesota, because Gobert being on the floor for Minnesota makes getting the ball out of Edwards' hands, like, if you throw it to Gobert on offense, it's like win as a defense, because he's going to bobble it, he's going to turn it over, he's going to take a so, like, substitute
Duren.
Duren, who,
Yeah.
like, Duren's going to just drive it against the shifting defense and score, or a decent enough passer with some highlights in there that I trust it. Asar Thompson can pass. Like, it's not the same penalty. Even though I think strategically that you should still just make someone besides Cade beat you. I don't think the Pistons suffer as much as Minnesota might with that strategy. And that was the last thing I wanted to say, is, like, we haven't until now given enough bandwidth to, like, how do the Pistons score? Like, the defense, yeah, sure, they match up well physically, defensively, whatever. I do think Cade is one of the hardest guys. It's not like Luka level, but the comparison exists for a reason. Like, one of the hardest guys to speed up. So I think, like, you can have Dort try to beat the shit out of him. You could have Caruso and Case and Wallace try to, get their hand on every dribble. I think Cade is better equipped than almost anybody to just, like, no, guys, this still is going to happen at my pace. I do think he's really, really good at that, and gives the Pistons, like, I don't know, again, to use the overused term, like, the puncher's chance, because I don't think you get Cade to, like, he's going to turn it over because he does, but, like, I don't think you force him into, like, this frenzied state that you would see a lot of other ball handlers get into.
No, but he also has the skill of being able to kind of toggle, where if, like, he needs to play off of some live balls more faster, that he might. On the season, so we're not even talking, like, they're 18th in first chance offense. And so do you lean on Duren Stewart lineups to try and offset that against the Thunder?
You make an aggressive trade.
But don't trade. Not too aggressive, though, because Grant Asar Thompson's off limits.
Can't touch this.
Let's talk about the Cavs.
Okay.
In theory, is this the team that you should maybe feel not even the best about, but we just talked about having, I know they're bigger on defense, but you want dynamic attackers on offense between Mobley and even having a Sam Merrill and then Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell. Shouldn't we feel better about this team than having waited until now to talk about them relative to their Eastern Conference brethren?
Well, compared to the Pistons being the heart pick, they're the head pick. They're just like, well, they won 64 games. They haven't been healthy yet. Like, the pendulum swung too far towards the Cavs are cooked, all that stuff. Like,
yes, I have a stat on that.
Yes.
Would you care to guess how many minutes that the core four on Cleveland has played together?
I actually knew this down to the possession, like, a couple days ago. And of course, because it's me, I can't remember. It's like 300 something possessions, if that, but I don't know what that is. 81 minutes. Yeah. Nothing.
That's not a lot. And by the way, in those 81 minutes, they have a pretty damn good net rating, 24.3, and a 131.6 offensive rating. And so if you were to kind of reverse, and we've spent a lot of time with these teams talking about, like, defense going up against defense, I sometimes wonder, is the way to reverse engineer this is, like, what's the offense that in theory could stand the test of the Thunder defense? And in the East specifically, it's Cavs or Knicks, end of list. And I think what's our problem with the Knicks is we're not going to trust the secondary creators. Like, Tyler Kolek gives you I'm being dead serious here, gives you a different type of dimension, but him against, they're not going to guard him from beyond the arc. And they might guard Jordan Clarkson, but Jordan Clarkson might defend Jordan Clarkson off the floor at that point. So the Cavs just had, like, unless you believe that Darius Garland is just, and he's had better moments lately, like, is the toe going to be fine? Can he generate the same kind of speed and wiggle when he's on the ball? This is the team. Like, if you want to trust the offense in the East, like, what's the next offense that you would trust to score against the Thunder? Is it Denver? I guess, are people going to pick the Spurs now after having watched those games?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, no, that's it. I think it's here. I think it's the healthy Cavs with all the best players in the game Denver, New York, and that's it. Like I don't know who else you'd even put up there. I think look, it's easy to look at Cleveland's like general postseason disappointment trend and then also cite like two small guards, like the Thunder are just going to eat these guys alive. Like that seems like, but then it's like, well, Donovan Mitchell just shows up in every playoff series. And maybe that's like, maybe that gets you. I always look at these as like, how am I going to get a game? Like I think you get a Donovan Mitchell game where he scores 47 points and like that's a win. Okay. So now you need three more. Like I think Mobley and Chet, like one or the other is the better player back and forth on a given night. So you kind of cancel each other out. I mean, so much of this, well, maybe are we overlooking the importance of all the other guys that Cleveland has been without this year? You know, the big four are obviously like non-negotiable. Struce, Ball's come and gone. Who else am I not? I don't know. I assume Dean Wade.
Lonzo Ball's been pretty available. His play,
right,
mostly
like
gone.
they just. I guess maybe you don't need quite as much of that in a playoff series if we're trying to imagine it, but you need some. Like what is Mitchell breaks down every postseason. Garland, was hurt last year. Like you're going to need something there.
Jared
But yeah,
Allen
offensively,
up. Yeah,
the best version of the Cavs. I mean, weren't they basically record setting last year? Like as an offense is the best we'd seen. So like that has to be the
not in the playoffs. They weren't. That's also been some. I know they've been banged up, but after having just said that, they're kind of just the champions of excuses. And I mean that in the sense of they always can point to, well, this is why we just didn't live up to expectations. Right. So maybe there is a little bit, well, is this postseason proof? And then also what I'm thinking about it too is we ask this question about every other team. What's the sort of archetype of player that you would want to add to them the most to go up against the Thunder? And the fact that the answer has to be overwhelmingly another wing defender who preferably doesn't kill your offensive spacing.
This is like a Wiggins sweet spot to me, I think, or someone like that.
Maybe Herb Jones.
Yeah, it's similar. Jones is probably a better defender at this point, but I think Wiggins might be still better offensively. Especially
he's a better two-way player for sure.
If you need because if you sell out, if you just say like, hey, Herb Jones beat us versus hey, Andrew Wiggins beat us, like Wiggins will get to like, it won't be great shots, but he'll get to shots. I think.
Yeah.
It's got to be that position. There's unless you're going to be like, get rid of Jared Allen and let's get like a really big physical center next to Mobley or no center next to Mobley at all. Like you're tinkering a lot.
That would be the appeal of Wiggins because I guess Herb Jones is pretty strong. But like you could use Wiggins because they've used Max Strus at the 4, but like Wiggins at the 4 versus DeAndre Hunter or Max Strus at the 4 is probably better.
Wiggins like on Holmgren, for example, I think Wiggins like he's okay there if that's what you have to ask him to do.
But I guess the benefit there is I think against the Thunder I might prefer to have Wiggins with both bigs versus because I think there's a real conversation about is Mobley better off as the 5, but thinking about the Thunder being able to have Jared Allen put him on who is it? I guess it depends on if the Thunder are going dual big or not, but put Jared Allen on the worst shooter and have him play off might be the way to go there. And so yeah, I think I'd feel better about a Wiggins Allen Mobley. So I think for the Thunder series, you need to not like dual big lineups would probably be super important for Cleveland.
So do you think it's still fair to say, because talking through this, it's been hard to differentiate. Do you think it's fair to say though, that none of these 3 East teams present as big a threat to the Thunder as, I mean, any of the West teams we went through? Or is that because talking about it's like, yeah, the Cavs have a shot. Yeah. The Knicks have a shot. Yeah. You can get there if you squint with pretty much everybody, but so is the East still just like we don't like their odds as much as any West team, or is there a West team you'd knock out below these East teams?
No, if I had to knock one out, I don't even know who I would knock out. I feel inclined to say Minnesota, but I just knowing what we've seen the past few postseasons and how they get up against the good teams, I don't even. First of all, I don't even know which East team I would put above the team to kick out is the problem.
Right. Yeah, it's tough. It may feel a little unfair. The good news is like, I don't know. We're only going to see one of these teams from the East against the Thunder at most. So we'll never have it proved wrong.
We had 2 people say this tongue in cheek in the chat, or maybe they were serious. They said the Celtics with Tatum.
Oh, that's fun. I mean, I still can't get there, but that's a good dark horse one.
Yeah, I think it would just depend too much. Okay, what does Jason Tatum look like coming back from a torn Achilles? And then they'd still be, I know the Thunder aren't huge, but they'd still be pretty small on the front line. Like Keita might not being there, Luka Garza. Like I just don't.
Yeah,
I feel like their bigs in that matchup might get eaten alive.
I think that's true.
So Mr. Grant Hughes, who is your single biggest threat to the Oklahoma City Thunder repeating as NBA champions this year?
I want to say Denver, but 3 wins is 3 wins. And I have to say the Spurs because of the Wemby of it all, because of the guard depth, because of the athleticism, because they can just they can play how the Thunder want to play successfully. But it's just like it's the track record that like I don't know. Maybe I'm recency bias is really taking over here, but I do think the Spurs have things they can do against the Thunder that a lot of teams can't.
Because I am a 25-year-old adult today.
Yes.
I'm going to take what I think is the responsible choice. And for all this, we spent a lot of time just dissecting how defense matches up against defense. I trust the Denver Nuggets offense to figure out OKC's defense more than any team that we've just mentioned. And a lot of that is, if you're looking at what the Spurs were able to do, incredible, and they might be uniquely built to be a Thunder foil. But you're dealing with a lot of just what did Dylan Harper and Steph Castle and even Wemby look like in their first playoff series type stuff.
That's why you're right. This is why you're right. That's the argument.
And I think you also, even if the Spurs are playing at their peak, no one, if Nikola Jokic is healthy, no one is going to be able to figure out the Thunder defense better than him. And this version of Jamal Murray that we've gotten this season, maybe you want to see some different type of things from him in the non-Jokic minutes. Those non-Jokic minutes don't really fucking exist when you're going into the playoffs at that point. And I think what's interesting about the Nuggets is I don't view them as an elite defensive team, but I think that the best lineups or their most important lineups have the ability to really tread water. And we saw, I mean, it helps that we saw kind of proof of concept against the Thunder there. So my 2 stipulations would be health with Jokic is just, it's a throwaway. If he's not healthy, it doesn't matter. But like Aaron Gordon feels like the second most important Nugget, ironically, in a Thunder series. And so if he's available, they're going to be my pick.
Well, and it should be understood that literally every one of these Thunder threats has to be fully healthy, or it's just like it's a non-starter.
Well, can I ask the question? Who is the second most important player in a Thunder series on the Spurs? Wemby's 1, right? For you?
Yeah, of course. Second most important player against the Thunder. I mean, you probably should say Fox, but I'm really tempted to say Castle, just because he, above all, is just like he's a Thunder player. You know what I mean? Like he belongs on the Thunder in terms of like his athleticism and physicality and defensive mindset and all that stuff. But I think you probably have to say Fox, because to tie to your Denver pick, like Fox is the only guy on this, unless you're going to say Harrison Barnes, really, that like understands what the playoffs look like. The reason my Spurs pick is dumb is because really they're going from out of the playoffs to knocking off a historic defending champion. Like the Nuggets have seen it. The Nuggets have been to where the Thunder have been. Like, and I know it's like coach speak or not analytical at all, but like that just matters. So the Nuggets have that experience and the Spurs don't. So yeah, like I guess that makes Fox the pick. Do you think it's someone other than Fox on San Antonio?
I really think you could make a case for Julian Champagny. I think you could make Castle would be the one to make the case. I was tempted to say Dylan Harper, just because if you're looking for someone who might be able to create something out of nothing, he's going to be able, after Fox, it would be him. And there's been moments where he's better defensively than De'Aaron Fox already. And so
and what's he going to look like in 2 months? Right. Like, I think Harper's one of those guys that's just like, he could be an all-star by then.
Of all the guards, who do you trust? You're getting like Thunder pressure at the basket. Who do you trust most to finish at the rim? It might already be Dylan Harper.
Well, Castle will try. We know that. Castle will just try to dunk it from wherever he is, or just like fly into people. But Harper's finishing packages are just like, that guy's going to be, he already is one of the best like guard finishers. It's going to be, at least aesthetically, but I think his conversion rates are just going to eventually be ridiculous.
Well, we have successfully figured out our own biggest threats to the Oklahoma City Thunder this season. It is now time for... It is stat padding time. And Grant, we've got a lot of fun stat padding stuff. I'm excited about today's stat padding. I'm not going to lie to you.
I'm nervous because of your excitement level. It always is. The difficulty rating raises the more excited you are.
I think we should build up to what I'm most excited about. So I'm going to start you with the one that is still awesome, but that I am least excited about, and we can work our way up. So are you ready, sir?
So ready.
Grant, 7 NBA players have at least 5 career triple doubles in which they did not get 10 assists. How many of these 7 players can you name? I will give you 3 strikes.
Triple doubles without the assists.
So they got it with steals or blocks plus rebounds and points mostly.
All right. Well, mean, Hakeem Olajuwon?
That is correct. 1 of 7.
Okay.
He's tied, fun fact, tied for the most all time with 10 such triple doubles.
I think we're going to stay in this vein here because I think the 10 blocks are just easier than the 10 steals. So I will go David Robinson.
He is on the list as well. 3rd place with 8. 2 of 7, no strikes.
Dikembe Mutombo.
He is 2nd all time he's tied for 1st, excuse me, 10. You got the top 3. That's impressive.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna burn a strike here and guess. Oh, actually, I gotta throw Shaq out there.
You can. That's strike 1.
Damn it! Oh, now I'm really hesitant to burn my next strike. I'm gonna burn it anyway. 1, Mark Eaton.
He is tied so it's tied for 5th place. They're 7th players, but he has 6.
Okay, so we got Eaton, Mutombo, Olajuwon, David Robinson. There's one other guy I got to get here.
You have 3 more.
Oh shit! I'm never getting 3 more. So I know if we go all the way back to so how about Sean Bradley?
You're on fire. That's number 5. He had 6.
Okay, then left. I gotta go Manute Bol.
That is incorrect. Strike 2.
Okay. I'm not gonna say George Mirashan. I don't think he played enough. Man, who else is getting 10 blocks? There's got to be some obvious ones. Can you tell me what place on the list my guys I don't have yet are?
They are 4th with 7, and then the final 3-way tie for 5th with 6. And I will say one of them should probably be overwhelmingly obvious.
Tim Duncan.
Strike 3. Incorrect.
Oh, you know what? Couldn't be happier to go out guessing Tim Duncan, though.
Well, we need Tim Duncan haters. We are casting those around these parts.
Okay.
Kareem was he? Yeah. I thought you would have got him, and then you never would have gotten Elmore Smith.
Nope.
6.
Not going to happen. Yeah, Kareem's tough because you can't get Wilt probably had 50 of those games, but you can't guess him because they didn't do blocks back then. I always lump Kareem in there with they didn't track blocks until late in his career or something. I don't even know if that's right. Okay.
So when when I was filtering it and I tried to do it, who got triple doubles without doing it with rebounds, there was 5 guys and they all did it once. And I don't even know if you would have known who 3 of them were. And so
because it's a 10 steal thing
was one of them. Yeah. Cause then it's
our guy.
Then it's steals, blocks, points, and assists. And so it's easier to get a triple double without assists than without rebounds for sure.
Yeah. Draymond did it without points, didn't he? Against Memphis, several years ago, I think.
Did it without points. That's the most Draymond stat of perhaps all time.
Okay, that was fun. What else you got? Or you want me to go here?
I'll do my next one before we go to you. I'm very excited about all of these, if you can't tell. Grant, guess which NBA team I'm talking about by only hearing these player nicknames. That's a bad way to phrase it. Guess the NBA team from their player nicknames. How's that for simplification?
Succinct.
And the goal here was I try to make them progressively easier. So you get a hard one, and if it's a one-shot kill, good for you. And you only get one guess, and then we move on to the next name.
Can I guess after each nickname? Or I get because I don't want to wait for all the. Okay, cool, got it.
You guess. I'll give you a nickname. You will guess, and if it's wrong, we move on. Because I can't give you unlimited guess. There's only 30 teams. There's just a finite number of options. You're just running through the alphabet.
Yeah, easy. Well, struggle.
Okay, guess the NBA team from their player nicknames. First up, the heir apparent.
Sorry. Question: are these nicknames of current active players?
These are all active players on the current teams.
The heir apparent. Shaden. Portland Trailblazers.
That is incorrect.
Okay.
Second, Wolverine.
these nicknames, these Basketball Reference nicknames, it's like they workshop like what's something no one's ever called this player. There it is. That's the nickname we'll put on his Basketball Reference page. Wolverine. Phoenix Suns.
That is incorrect. Next up, Benjamin Buckets.
I mean, that should be easy. That's not the giveaway nickname, is it?
No, so there's 5 nicknames per team,
Okay.
unless there's a nickname that refers to 2. So it's like building a starting lineup of nicknames.
I mean, how many Bens are there? Benjamins in the NBA? I don't know.
You have 28 teams left. Pick one of them.
Ben Wallace. I'll just say the Sixers. I have no idea.
That is incorrect. Swaggy L.
Utah Jazz?
That is incorrect. Final one, and you better get it. Hillbilly Kobe.
The Lakers.
That is correct. So Hillbilly Kobe's Austin Reeves.
Yeah.
Swaggy L was Luka Doncic. I thought you might have gotten it on Benjamin Buckets with LeBron.
Oh, yeah. I was going down who's named Benjamin in the NBA. I was never going to get there.
Wolverine was Marcus Smart. I wouldn't have known that one.
No.
And the heir apparent was Bronny James, which I'm sure now makes a ton of sense to you.
Yep. Now it does.
Okay. Next team. First nickname. Cocaine Curry.
Great. I've been bagging on these nicknames. That's a good one. Cocaine Curry. So does that mean this is a white player or this is a player that is very energetic? Or that has a screenplay he really wants to tell you about and won't shut up about it.
Or likes to go to EDM concerts. Who's to say?
He's got a lot of side interests. The Thunder.
Incorrect. The Terror Twins. So this refers to 2 players on the same
The Rockets.
Team. Correct. That's Amen Thompson and Tari Eason. The other 2 nicknames you would have gotten, Green Room for Kevin Durant, and then I know you would have gotten this, Big Kiwi. Steven Adams.
So is Reed Shepherd Cocaine Curry? And I didn't know that.
He is. Okay. And could you encapsulate his game in a better framing than that? Probably not.
All
right, next up, 9 to 5.
He's workmanlike. Sounds like Harrison Barnes. This is the Spurs.
That is incorrect.
Darn.
Next nickname, Smooth Operator. I could sing it to you too. He's a smooth operator.
Oh, now I have it. I would like all the clues sung in the could you? That's how my brain works. Sorry, I don't know. It's okay. Smooth operator. I did think Josh Smith first, but these are active players. Did I guess the Thunder? I'm gonna guess the Thunder again.
Again, when you already?
Yeah. Oh, I guess
it's
the
wrong.
Reed Shepherd one.
Okay. No, not them. Next nickname, Ivy Drip.
The Pistons?
Correct.
Yeah.
So Cade Cunningham was Smooth Operator. 9 to 5 is Asar Thompson. I had as the giveaway, it was Cade Cunningham again, Motorcade. If you didn't get that one, I was going to be ashamed. Would you have gotten it on Jimmy Neutron?
Yeah, I think I would have for Duncan Robinson. Yeah.
Next up, Blue Arrow.
Nuggets.
One shot killed it with Jamal Murray. I feel like that shouldn't have been the first one. We had Biggie Smalls for Bruce Brown, Big Science for Jonas Valanciunas. This one is my favorite nickname of all time, and I didn't even know it existed. Girth Nowitzki for Nikola Jokic.
Why is Valanciunas Big Science?
I don't know. He has a beard.
Well, isn't Jonas or Jonas Salk a scientist? Somebody in the comments verify my trivia
That's
knowledge.
A pull. That's
Might
a pull.
The
Good for
problem is that
you.
makes too much sense for most of these nicknames, so it probably isn't that.
I feel like Nikola Jokic has the best nicknames that aren't his nicknames. Big Honey is just
Yeah.
awesome, but we just call him the Yoker or Yoke, and that's just lame.
Yeah.
And the giveaway one was Swatson for Peyton Watson.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why I know the blue. Murray does the archery celebration on threes still, right? Like, because of that. I think he
Yes,
does.
and he's also called Maple Curry. I didn't know that. Would you gotten it?
Well, it would have been. I would have had to. Maybe. You have to name some Canadians. Obviously, it narrows the field.
Excellent one-shot kill by you.
Thank you.
Next up, two more. White Steve Nash.
Tyler Kolek, New York Knicks.
One shot, back-to-back one-shot kills. That's incredible.
It's the floppy hair. Kolek has very floppy hair for a basketball player. That's very Nash-esque. Steve Nash is hilarious.
Incredible stuff from you. Big body. Let's see if you can guess the players now. It's over, but big body.
Big body?
Yeah.
Yabu? Right?
No. Yabu was Le Bear. That was going to be the second to last one.
Big body. Ariel Hukporty.
No.
I have no idea.
Jalen Brunson. It's one of his nicknames.
Sure.
Here's
perfect
Noodles.
Example.
This is my favorite. Noodles.
That's Bridges.
Oh, you would have got okay. And then the giveaway one was the Big Bodega.
Yeah. Okay, and that's Cat. Yeah, the Knicks have apparently some obvious ones.
Okay. Final team. Guess the NBA team by their player nicknames, Grant. Sleeve Nash. It's an incredible nickname, by the way.
That is really good. It's just clean. It's perfect. There's no fat on that one. Sleeve Nash. There's a lot of Nash-based nicknames. Who's got sleeves? That's a kind of Steve Nashy. I don't know. The Thunder again. Alex Caruso.
No, not the Thunder. Nice try though. The Vanilla Gorilla.
Well, first of all, that's Joel Presbilla, who's a center that I have not thought about for a long time. And it rhymed, so that's why it made sense. I don't know who has taken Vanilla Gorilla from him since he retired. I want to guess the Thunder again because of Hartenstein. I won't. Let's see. I don't know. Pass. Give me the next clue.
Okay. Sleek Freak.
Sleek? What is these are
another. I didn't know this one, but it's honestly top notch.
The Raptors.
Incorrect. Next one up, the Don.
You give me the Lakers again?
I did not. Incorrect. Final one, and you better get it. Fro.
Oh, the Cavs.
Yeah, Jared Allen.
So the Don is just Donovan. Who's Sleeve Nash?
So the Don was Donovan Mitchell. I was actually worried that should be the giveaway one, but I was right in saying that it shouldn't. Fro was Jared Allen. Sleek Freak was Evan Mobley. I like that one.
Okay.
You're dying to know who the Vanilla Gorilla is. That's Dean
Yeah.
Wade. Sleeve Nash is Darius Garland. I love that one.
Interesting. I don't picture him in sleeves. I guess I got to update my mental image.
So do you want to give me yours? I was way more excited for that than you were. That was good. There's some fun nicknames floating around on Basketball Reference and Reddit as well, but most of these were called from Basketball Reference.
Yes. All right. Dan, for you, I have put together today an incredibly poorly timed LeBron-centric set of stat padding questions. The theme is loosely, the answer is not LeBron. Because he leads in so many categories since he entered the league in 03-04 that you could just blind guess that he has the most of a lot of things. Points, for example, and games and minutes and blah, 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 turnovers. I'm going to give you statistical categories that dating back to 03-04, LeBron is not the leader in. Somebody else is. So I think what I can do is I'm going to give you 3 strikes per category. And you've got to
totals.
Guess. Yep. Total, cumulative total. So like not per game, just from 03-04, who's got the most of this? And it's not LeBron. And I can then subsequently ask you where you think LeBron ranks as like a follow-up in that stat category. So we know points is LeBron. Let's go to rebounds. LeBron does not have the most rebounds, Dan, since 03-04. Who does?
Oh man. Oh, 304 is a long time. But I feel like I should have the license to be able to go more recent. Like who's been in the league a while, grabs a ton of boards. Is it Jokic?
It is not Jokic. And I will tell you now, Jokic will not feature in any of these. To give you a sense of like what generate, like you're gonna get eventually slotted into like a generation of players,
Oh,
and they're all
okay.
gonna be like from that group. So like Jokic, I'll tell you now, Jokic, Giannis, Shea, like all these guys of the last like half decade plus are not gonna feature here.
Uh Drummond?
Drummond is third. He is not the leader in this category. Good guess. Strike two.
Who's a big I'm missing? These are not my answers. I'm just spitballing here. Sabonis is too recent. Feels like there's Rudy Gobert. There's Clint Capella. My God.
I will
Oh
tell you
three.
that I'll give you a hint. The fourth and fifth ranked guys in rebounds since 0304 are still in the league. Number one is not.
Number one is not in the league. That's good. I was not even thinking about retired players. Uh, not in the league. That's too late to pick a Shaq. Who am I forgetting? Is it? No. I just Kumbacha girled my face, I think, basically. Uh oh man, this is hard. I love
I,
this. This
I
is
want to
so
give you
bad.
some. Would you take some hints? Do you want some hints?
Sure. Give me a hint.
So this guy's best stretch of rebounding per game started in 0708 and ended in 1213. He averaged 14.2, 13.8, 13.2, 14.1, 14.5, 12.4 over that stretch from basically 08 to 13.
All right, it's not Roy Hibbert. We know he couldn't rebound. There you go. I don't even have like there's not even a name. I'll punch myself when I hear it.
Yeah,
So the
it's
best stretch started in 07, 08.
yep.
This answer has to be so obvious. There's got to be people
It's
listening right now that are so
I will
angry.
say when I saw the answer, I was like, well, okay, of course, but also I wasn't gonna guess this guy. Like it's that kind of like, oh yeah, I forgot about him. But you don't associate. I'll give you another one. You don't associate him with rebounding so much. It was just sort of part of the deal. Like rebounding is not the first thing you think of with him. You think of something else first.
Should have guessed Russell Westbrook, but he's still in the league. Started best 07, 08, done by 12, 13.
He played until 2022.
I feel like that probably should help me, and it doesn't. All
And he
right, well,
was
who's
done
retired?
being a good player in like 14.
Oh, holy crap!
Well, done being a great player. He was like decent through 17, 18.
I don't even have a name here. You've sufficiently frozen me. Who is it?
It's a big name. I could give you the obvious hint. Do you want the obvious hint?
Yeah, hit me.
He won Defensive Player of the Year 3 years in a row from 08,
Dwight
09.
Howard. God damn it.
Dwight Howard. He has, Dan, 14,627 rebounds. James, well, I'll spoil it. James is second at 11,800. Like Howard is so like, but again, like you don't think of rebounding. It's just like, well, yeah, he's the best big man athlete in the world. Like, of course, he's
That's a
getting 13
doy
boards.
moment where it's like, damn it.
But I wouldn't have guessed them. I would have guessed all the guys you did. DeAndre Jordan fourth, Vooch fifth, just hanging on Vooch. All right,
Extend them, Chicago. Do it.
you're going to redeem yourself here. LeBron James, Dan, is not number one in total assists since 2003, 2004. Can you tell me who is?
Chris Paul.
That is correct.
Sorry.
12,552 versus 11,682. So LeBron is gonna catch Chris Paul over probably for most.
Oh, he's second?
Yeah.
I guess that would, yeah,
you want
that
to
would have
take
to
you want to take cracks at the rest of the top five there? Big names.
Let's Harden.
Harden is fourth, 8,553.
Russ.
Russ is third, 10,157. And fifth is a ways behind those last two guys, but
It can't still be
would
Steve Nash, is it?
I would get
Is
him.
it Jokic?
It's Nash.
So it was Nash. All right.
All right, here we go. Another one I think you will get. Dan, LeBron James does not have the most steals since 2003, 2004. Can you please tell me who does?
Oh my God. Is it also Chris Paul?
It also is Chris Paul. Turns out Chris Paul had a pretty good career. Good job.
Who knew?
He got a big lead, 2,728. LeBron's at 2,360. Do you want to take shots at 3, 4, and 5 on that list? Most steals since 03, 04?
03, 04. Honestly, probably not, but let me see if I can. Is Dwayne Wade on there?
That's a good. He's not. He showed up on some other list. Maybe we'll get to it. He's not on the list. I think you just got it. Like just minutes. Like, I mean, that's my only hint. Like, who's just played a ton forever?
Oh, I mean, I could just name 20 guys, but I'm not going to name any single one of them because nobody's springing to mind. So it's not Kawhi. You said played a bunch.
It's not Kawhi, correct? Although his per minute probably is up there.
Yeah, who is it?
It's Russ. Has over 2,000, and number 3, Andre Iguodala is 4th.
I never got there.
Yes, that and James Harden. That's the minutes thing. Him and Russ.
He was the only name that came to my mind when you were saying guys who played a ton of minutes, and in my head I said, "There's no way. There's just no way."
Let's see. Well, LeBron James, Dan, is nowhere close to first in blocks since 2003, 2004.
Derek White.
No, not 23 to 24 minutes ago. So who has the most blocks since 03, 04?
Is it Victor Wembanyama? No, I'm just kidding. That does not count. Is it Dwight Howard again?
It is Dwight Howard by, well, not by as much as you might think. Brook Lopez is second, 2,085 to Howard's 2,228.
Oh, wow.
Does LeBron rank 15th, higher or lower than 15th on the blocks list since 03, 04? He's lower, 20th.
Is he even going to make the Hall of Fame at this point?
What a bum. Block a shot. Tim Duncan makes his appearance. He's third on that list. Even though, like,
when did he finish playing? I guess that was the mid.
He had like 6 good years before this.
Yeah.
So if we slid the window back a little bit, he'd be up there. All right. What's most interesting here? The threes is easy. Okay. How about this is okay.
Are you
the answer
okay?
to this one is the answer to this is LeBron James. So this is going to bump on the premise here. Dan, LeBron James has the most 2-point field goals made since 03, 04 by a laughable margin. Who is second on that list? I'll give you 3 strikes.
Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant is third.
Second in made 2-pointers since 03, 04. I don't want to say, but I should say him now and get the strike out of the way. Is it Russ?
It is not Russell Westbrook.
Damn it. Is it James Harden?
It's not James Harden. See, that's why it's hard, because he's way up there in points, but it's like threes and free throws. So think about who you would. The problem is the era. It feels like it's too early for this guy, but it's really not, because he's been around forever, still active. Who's just like making twos? Who's just making tons of twos?
DeAndre Jordan.
It's not a big, which makes it even crazier.
Just making twos. It's not Steph.
Nope.
He's still around? Is it Chris Paul?
It's not. No, that's a good guess. You see a lot of those right elbow jumpers. I would say you would definitely associate like much higher shooting volume with this player than you would Chris Paul. Making and taking a lot of twos.
DeMar DeRozan?
It is DeMar DeRozan.
Okay.
Great guess. Right. Like when I saw that, I was like,
great guess after 8 strikes.
No, like you could have given me so many. Just for perspective though. So DeRozan has made when I put these together, because he's probably made 25 more since, 8,641 twos in that time span. And he got started later than LeBron by a handful of years. LeBron has almost 5,000 more made twos. Like just like 10,000 points just right there than the second most prolific 2-point scorer.
His
in the last
longevity is
22 years.
insane.
It's like it's bonkers. All right, I'm gonna get you a couple more here. So again, bumping the premise, LeBron is in fact first in free throws made since 03-04. Can you tell me who is second?
James Harden.
That's correct. Do you want to keep the run going? Who do you have at third?
Ooh, no. Just call it. I'm trying to think of who drew a ton of fouls. Did Russ shoot a ton of free throws?
He did. He is third, fourth, fifth, sixth on that list and made free throws. Shout out Kobe. Kobe shows up only here. He's seventh and made free throws since 03-04. Just too much of his career was before that.
Where's KD's not in the top five?
KD's third. KD's right after Harden. Yeah. And then our guy, DeMar DeRozan, right there behind
DeMar
KD.
DeRozan, yeah, okay.
One spot ahead of Melo. Melo shows up on a few of these. He was up there on the 2-point field goals. I thought you might name him for that. Is there any other weird one I want to do here? Let's see. No, I think we're good. Oh, let's do, this is fun. LeBron James leads every player on the planet in turnovers since 03-04, 5,510. Who's second?
Russ.
Correct. Who's third?
I know it's not him. I want to ask where he ranks on this because he's so high up, and it says, where's Chris Paul rank in this?
I don't know, but he's not in the top 5 in turnovers.
It's impressive. Is it Harden?
It is Harden. You're on fire.
Okay.
Followed by Durant, followed by Wade. This is Wade's only appearance, I think, his turnovers, unfortunately. All right, that was fun. I won't do minutes because that's just Chris Paul is second again. And Chris Paul, the takeaway here is Chris Paul shows up on a lot of these. Chris Paul and Dwight Howard already are like...
Some would argue he shows up too much and it might cost him his job.
Yeah, well, he shows up and he talks a lot, it seems like. But yeah, that was fun. You did well, I thought, because I think we're messing with an era that's a little bit before some of your basketball fandom starts. So because you're only 25. So correct. How could you possibly be expected to know about 03-04?
Now, we left it to the end, 2 hours. This is the one I'm most excited about, Grant. It's going to be hit or miss here. But you have to guess the NBA player by hearing only their voice.
Oh.
Are you ready?
Oh, I'm excited.
So you're ready is what is it?
Yeah, I'm ready. Okay. I'm listening. I turn my volume up. I'm gonna smoke this.
So we'll give you 3 strikes per player. I will replay it as much as you want. But
okay.
Here, let's go.
There's this guy on their team that's 7'5" and takes up a lot of space on the court.
Now, I should have mentioned I tried to stage them in levels. Okay. So there'll be 3 levels and they go in order of increasing difficulty.
Can I just say, you're going above and beyond right now. This is fantastic. That's Jalen Williams. And it's recent. So you really did put one on a platter for me.
Okay. Guess the NBA player voice.
From being at the bottom and, almost getting the job done. I have unfinished business here. From being at the bottom and, almost getting the job done. I have unfinished business here.
Oh, boy. I had it. I want to say Dylan Brooks, but it's not Dylan Brooks. I'm going to take the strike on that one, I think.
That's strike 1.
Okay, can you play it one more time? This is going to be terrible podcasting because I'm going to ask you so many times to replay it.
From being at the bottom and, almost getting the job done. I have unfinished business here.
This is killing me, Dan. Oh man, it's a little about me. When we're watching when we're watching like animated movies, it annoys everybody in my house that I'll be like, that's Scarlett Johansson, or like, that was I'm more obscure than that. Like someone that I feel like I'm good at picking out the celebrity voice. One more time, and then I'm just gonna have to eat it.
From being at the bottom and, almost getting the job done. I have unfinished business here.
I am going to be so mad when you tell me who
You
this
still have
is.
2 strikes, by the way. You've only
I'll,
guessed
I'll
one
say,
play.
I'll say Cade.
That is incorrect. Strike 2.
From being at the bottom, I feel like I can remember this soundbite too. I have unfinished business here. Oh, Dan. I really like this, but I hate that I'm not going to get this one. One more time. It'll be the last time I ask you to play it.
You're allowed to ask as many times as you want to hear it.
Nobody wants to listen to it. Everyone that knows it is already like just throwing their computer out the window.
From being at the bottom and, almost getting the job done. I have unfinished business here.
See, now I'm just ignoring the voice and trying to figure out like from the content of the quote.
I am starting to think that I should have put this player on level 3 rather than level 2.
Oh boy, now I'm terrified of level 3. Who unfinished business here, being at the bottom. God damn it. I don't even have a guess. I'll say I have no idea. I have no idea. I don't even have a name for you. You have to give me strike 3 and tell me. I have to know.
Strike 3, and it is Devin Booker.
God damn it.
That's a tough. He's one of those guys where his voice just takes you by surprise.
I just like, I don't know. He did a post-game interview like 3 days ago that I watched and I couldn't get there. This is not a good sign for level 3. All right. Great stuff by you. Bad stuff by me. I need redemption.
Grant, guess the NBA player's voice.
Oh my gosh. This ain't my height now. It's close though. Close enough. Sorry.
One more time, please.
Oh my gosh. This ain't my height now. It's close though. Close enough. Sorry.
Oh, I had it, Dan.
You don't have a strike yet. You could burn some. You could burn some guesses.
Time, and then I will give you a guess.
Oh my gosh. This ain't my height now. It's close though. Close enough. Sorry.
I swear, it's like right. My brain is like, if you could do an MRI right now, my brain is like tingling. It's close though. This ain't my height. It's close though. Oh God, this is the worst. I'm enjoying it. I'm having a good time. I know you can't tell.
I'm glad you're enjoying the game as much as I thought. When I thought of it, I went back and forth for days as to whether I was like, oh, should I actually try to do this? It's going to be a little bit extra work for stat padding, but it's worth it just to see you struggle, to be honest.
Oh, this one's even worse because I don't think I was going to get Booker. I just wanted this. I just wanted it on a loop. Okay, one more time.
Oh my gosh. This ain't my height now. It's close though. Close enough. Sorry.
It's LaMelo.
Incorrect. Strike 1.
Oh,
I was
agonizing.
so confident.
You didn't
even burn a strike yet.
That's where the just the wild guesses are hard. Man, I'm surprised that's not LaMelo. Now I'm trying to think like, who could that be?
I'm gonna give you another hint just because it's height related. It's not Kevin Durant either.
I know it's not Kevin. Yeah, that one I would have got. I know it's not Kevin Durant, Dan. That's a terrible hint. I'm gonna get really punchy because of my failure.
Okay, here's another one. It's not Devin Booker.
Oh, okay, thanks. Great. It's not my height, guys. It's close though. Yeah, I can you give me a real hint?
Okay. I feel like a real hint. These are all active players.
Yeah.
I can give you, I feel like even if I give you that, it'll be a dead giveaway. I'm trying to think. This player is under 6'7".
Okay. Is there like is it Derek White?
That is incorrect. Now I'll give you some warmer hints. So that's strike 2. This player is, you want conference, position?
Maybe like level of play. Like, is this an all-star, an all-NBA guy? None of those things?
They've made an all-NBA team.
Oh. Okay.
Well, hold on. Let me confirm.
Are you going to have to? Okay, so he's a fringe all-NBA now. That's good. Now I got more information.
I'll give you the exact. He is a 4-time all-star, one-time All-NBA.
One more time with the audio, please, and then I will guess and get strike 3.
Oh my gosh. This ain't my height now. It's close though. Close enough. Sorry.
Is that Trae
You know
Young?
it. That is Trae Young. You got it. Nice job.
Man, once the name gets, it's like, of course that's who that is.
Right. I feel like objectively speaking, the Trae Young one should have been easier than the Devin Booker one.
Based on not getting Devin Booker, I would agree with you.
All right, I have one more 3 levels for you. So you ready for that subset?
Oh, okay, yeah.
All right, here we go. Grant, guess the NBA player voice.
Because I have for breakfast, I have a pound of ground beef and 6 eggs. So it's all like mixed together. But like when you open it, eggs don't smell that great.
Level 1.
Not only is this Steven Adams, but it has also forced me to rethink my breakfast choices. Why not just go 6 eggs and a pound of ground beef every day? First thing. Why not, Dan?
That is correct. You got level 1. Good job. That was my favorite soundbite too. Just listening to him describe his breakfast.
I really have thought like, I could get some ground. Like, what would happen to me if I did that? Would I also become the best rebounder on planet Earth? That'd be cool.
Okay, Grant, guess the NBA player voice. Level 2 difficulty.
When I very first got traded here, we were pushing for the playoffs, and I had a vision of what it would be like to make the playoffs here in SAC, and it was a lot of long days, just working and just being in the facility, being in these games. And so, to run out there tonight and to see that and to see the fans, it was exciting, but, honestly, it was a little emotional just being a part of that, and really just happy for the fans.
So
context clues there too.
Yeah, the longer it went on, the less sure I got, but he did end with a gracious sentiment. And so that's what tells me it's Harrison Barnes.
That is correct. 2 for 2. That wasn't hard enough.
He's a good person.
Can you go one-shot kill across the board? Level 3, Grant. Guess the NBA player voice.
There's no love loss or bad blood there. It's just, you have to understand business. And, I've got to know that over my tenure in the career of the NBA. But super excited. I'm back here on the West Coast. I'm 45 minutes from my house in Newport. So, I know a couple guys on the team, obviously.
I appreciate the geographical clue within the soundbite. Is that John Collins?
Incorrect. Strike 1.
He's on the West Coast.
You're welcome. I thought about cutting the clip off before then too.
Yeah, no, I need it. One more time, please. I know it's a longer one.
There's no love loss or bad blood there. It's just, you have to understand business. And, I've got to know that over my tenure in the career of the NBA. But super excited. I'm back here on the West Coast. I'm 45 minutes from my house in Newport. So, I know a couple guys on the team, obviously.
Is that Marcus Smart?
Incorrect. Strike 2.
Oh, no, I felt good about that one. The bad blood thing. Man. So that, I didn't think I was going to have to guess after that one. Could be
that's
throwing
the
me
worst
off
when you're overly confident.
I was like, oh, that's clearly who that is. The Celtics Lakers rivalry. He's on the Lakers now. I mean, it's not a lot of guys have. So I was about to say it's not a Warriors player or a Kings player, or because
we just had a bunch of people leave. This must be pretty obvious to a lot of people who were watching.
They're just like, I don't need to stick around and see if he gets it. It's got to be an LA guy. Although you could have it doesn't sound like a Warrior to me. If it's a Warriors player and you snuck it in there, kudos to you. I'll just say Gabe Vincent.
That is incorrect. Strike 3. It was Zach LaVine.
Ooh. Oh, I'm disappointed. He has kind of a distinctive voice. All right.
And it was at one point when you said, "Oh, it's not a king." It was okay. He's clearly not. Is not going to get this one then if that's what he's kind of married to.
Well, I was already all in on Marcus Smart. What a shame. Great job by you. Good. What an innovative. I hope there's no rights issues with that, like having to play the audio. But good job.
Oh no, I'm sure it wasn't like we were playing music or anything like that. So I'm sure it's fine.
Well, not until you start singing the clues. You're gonna have to paraphrase the clues and sing them to me from now on.
Do you have anything else, or do you want to take us out of here?
From the comments, by the way, I see that down there now. That was fully organic and all me. Please remember, as always, rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your enemies, join our Discord. Link for that in the YouTube and podcast description. As always, shouts, Frank Ntilikina. Apologies, Jared Allen.